Hello and welcome to CRU's weekly ferroalloy roundup. I'm Estelle Tran, and today I'm joined by Alex Anderson to take a look at what's been happening recently in the U.S. and European ferrotitanium markets. Over to you, Alex.
Yeah, thanks, Estelle. So I'll start with the U.S. market since it's been rather subdued over the last several weeks. Prices have been steady, and all the spot sales that we've confirmed have been within the current range, averaging around $245 a pound. It does seem like the market is just sort of status quo right now, particularly because one major producer is recovering from an accident that happened earlier this year that sort of impacted their production abilities, I guess you could say. Now, it hasn't had a major impact on the market as far as supply goes, but there just hasn't really been as much competition for business in the interim, so that sort of left the market relatively flat, I guess you could say.
Oh, okay. Well, thanks for that. So, yeah, just wondering, have there been any developments on that accident?
Well, I talked to the producer a couple of weeks ago, and they said that they were anticipating on being back to regular production at the end of February. So hopefully this week they were able to get things, back online. Yeah, that remains to be confirmed. But overall, like I said, there really hasn't been any significant changes in the market as a result. It was sort of a localized accident to one of their production areas. So it didn't majorly impact the ferrotitanium production as a whole, but still a hit nonetheless. So yeah, it looks to be resolved here pretty shortly, if not already.
Okay, thanks. So what's going on in Europe?
Well, the European market started to get interesting after a period of weakness throughout January and February. Prices rapidly dropped at the end of 2018 as supply sort of made its way back to the market, and sellers were able to take some profit. The market, as you can see on the graph here, went from $5.70 a kilo in September last year to now bottoming out at $4.15 a kilo this month, like in February. So yeah, a pretty steady decline, and it sort of dropped off there over the last month. However, over the last week, we've been getting rumblings of higher offers, and this week we did confirm business done at $4.70 a kilo. Sources reported that supply is tightening in Europe, and there are some concerns over limited supply from a major supplier that is only exacerbating the issue. So that's sort of sending some people into not a panic, but I guess some people are getting sort of worried about tightness and availability in the market. So sellers are certainly taking the opportunity to increase their offers. So offers were reportedly at $4.60 per kilo earlier this week. So it does seem like there's some support there for the near term. But I mean, this tends to be a little bit more cyclical. So I guess we'll sort of see what the market brings.
Okay, that makes sense. Well, do you expect the prices will remain bullish for the time being because of these supply concerns?
Yeah, I mean, I think that it will for the near term, but, like I said, this tends to be sort of a cyclical nature with ferrotitanium in particular, and you can sort of see on the graph there are sort of ebbs and flows with pricing. I mean, a lot of it has to do with, supply side issues, I guess. So a lot of material does come from Russia. So, in the European market, as the supply comes to and from Russia, we sort of see those prices fluctuate along with that. So as more material makes its way into Europe, we'll see those prices lower because, there's a bit more availability. But in a situation where we're at now, where most of that material has been sort of sold off, then we're seeing some tightness and prices start to rise again. So I think for the near term, prices will stay relatively bullish, but eventually, I mean, what goes up must come down. So I think that there will be a correction that takes place. It's just a matter of when.
Okay, well, that sounds fair. Thanks so much, Alex, for your market insight. For more information on what's going on in the ferroalloy space, please be sure to read this full CRU Ferroalloys weekly review that's delivered to your inbox.